WMD, this time in Libya, and Gaddafi says he will scrap his weapons of mass destruction, drawing praise from President Bush and Prime Minister Blair. Terror alert, a new warning to Americans from Osama bin Laden's right-hand man. An NBC News exclusive, the secret network recruiting guerrilla fighters in Europe to kill Americans in Iraq. And old versus new, a poor safety performance, so Ford makes big changes to a best-selling pickup truck. Does the redesign pass the test?
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. President Bush and British Prime Minister Tony Blair took their countries to war against Iraq, in large part because of weapons of mass destruction, which so far have not been found. But tonight, the two leaders had a surprise for the world. British and American negotiators have been working for months with Muammar Gaddafi, the rogue leader of Libya, to get rid of his weapons of mass destruction. And apparently they have succeeded just in time. There's word that Libya was close to developing a nuclear weapon. The announcement came first from Blair and was then praised by the president. NBC's Andrea Mitchell tonight in Washington. Andrea?
Tom, the president said tonight's announcement is the result of a contact 9 months ago from Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, resulting in U.S. and British intelligence officials working directly with the Libyans to disclose and dismantle their weapons programs. Announced simultaneously by the president and British Prime Minister Tony Blair, the decision is a rare voluntary disarmament by a nation known for decades as a rogue state.
Leaders who abandon the pursuit of chemical, biological, and nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them will find an open path to better relations with the United States and other free nations. With today's announcement by its leader, Libya has begun the process of rejoining the community of nations.
I've spoken to Colonel Gaddafi to say that as the process of disarmament goes forward, I look forward to developing a productive relationship with him and with Libya.
The CIA has long suspected Libya was trying to develop nuclear weapons. Tonight, British officials tell NBC News Libya has now admitted it was developing nuclear fuel to support nuclear weapons. Libya has also shown British intelligence significant stockpiles of chemical agents that could be used for weapons, and bombs designed to be filled with chemical agents. And Libya has done limited research but no production of biological weapons, along with developing missiles. Recently, responsibility for the bombing of Pan Am 103 15 years ago. For decades, Libya hosted terror training camps. Tonight, U.S. officials tell NBC News that Libya must still get rid of remnants of Palestinian terror groups before it can get off the terror list and begin doing business with the U.S. and the rest of the West. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC's Andrea Mitchell tonight. At the same time, with Hanukkah and the Christmas holiday season upon us, intelligence officials are worried about the possibility of more terrorist attacks, especially since they're picking up more of what they call chatter from the terrorist networks. And there is a new warning from a top al-Qaeda leader, while Saudi Arabia is under a high-level terrorist warning. NBC's Pete Williams has that story.
With less than a week to go before Christmas and Hanukkah now beginning, intelligence analysts say the volume of unspecified threats they're intercepting remains at high levels. While nothing specific or credible has been identified, federal officials have been reminding big city mayors to stay vigilant.
We have remained concerned about the volume of reporting of threats, and that is why the Department of Homeland Security has sent out several bulletins over the past few weeks.
The stock market dropped 30 points this morning after a website wrongly reported a threat against New York. The market quickly recovered after police there dismissed the report as unfounded. Overseas, an audio tape was received by the Al Jazeera TV network said to be from Ayman al-Zawahiri, al-Qaeda's second in command. He says his group is chasing Americans and their allies everywhere. Terrorism analysts say these messages are intended to rally supporters.
The focus of this tape is to celebrate the second anniversary of the Battle of Tora Bora in Afghanistan, and it's for that reason it seems to be more focused on propaganda as opposed to being an indicator of future targeting.
U.S. intelligence officials say they believe al-Qaeda followers are in the final stages of planning attacks in Saudi Arabia, and the State Department is warning Americans not to travel there. Concern is also high about possible renewed attacks in Turkey, though that intelligence is less specific. And new evidence of one way al-Qaeda may be getting its money. The U.S. Navy seized a boat in the Persian Gulf carrying 2 tons of hashish worth $10 million. 4 people were arrested, said to be tied to the terror group. Homeland Security officials say they're assessing the credibility of what they hear, but there are no plans tonight to raise the national terror threat level. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
And we do have much more tonight on a story that we told you about last night, that earlier this month a convoy carrying the top American in Iraq, L. Paul Bremer, came under attack in a guerrilla ambush in Baghdad. Joining me now from the Pentagon with additional details is NBC's Jim Miklaszewski. Jim, what do you have?
Tom, officials here say tonight this was a well-planned ambush, but it's still not clear whether Bremer himself was the actual target. Under tight security, Ambassador Paul Bremer back on the road today. During a tour of Basra in southern Iraq, he casually brushed off the guerrilla attack on his convoy.
As you can see, it didn't succeed.
But it came dangerously close. 2 weeks ago, after meeting Defense Secretary Rumsfeld at the Baghdad airport, Bremer was riding in his heavily armed convoy along a dangerous stretch of road known as Sniper's Alley when a roadside bomb exploded near the lead vehicle, leaving it heavily damaged but not disabled. Almost immediately, the convoy came under heavy small arms fire. As the convoy sped up to escape, Bremer's SUV was reportedly riddled with bullets, shattering the rear window, but miraculously, no one was hurt. Since Bremer's meeting with Rumsfeld was scheduled at the last minute, coalition officials in Baghdad don't believe the attackers knew Bremer would be on the airport road. But they can't rule out the possibility he was targeted for assassination.
We have reason to believe that it was just a random opportunistic attack, not necessarily specifically targeted at him, but it's premature at this point to make that conclusion.
This was the first time Bremer himself had come under attack, but intelligence reports only a month ago indicated he's a marked man.
Mohammed's army plans to launch a rocket and/or a mortar attack on CPA with the Ambassador Bremer as a target.
There's speculation enemy infiltrators may have tipped off the attackers in advance, but U.S. intelligence officials insist there is no indication this was an inside job. Bremer's aides say he's not intimidated by the attack and will continue his travels throughout Iraq, even though he remains one of the top targets on the enemy's list for assassination. Tom.
Thanks very much, NBC Jim Miklaszewski tonight. Now, an NBC News exclusive about some of those insurgents and who they really are. Most are Iraqi-born, but some are foreign fighters, and they are not in Iraq just by accident. We've learned that many have been recruited from Europe specifically to kill Americans in Iraq. NBC senior investigative correspondent Lisa Myers has more on the terror recruiting network the police say stretches from Norway to Italy.
The streets of Milan. European intelligence officials say this is the epicenter of a network of al-Qaeda and other extremists who are recruiting militants from Europe to kill Americans in Iraq. Intelligence experts estimate hundreds of volunteers or recruits from Europe have attempted to enter Iraq. This British Olympic hopeful in martial arts reportedly blew himself up in a suicide attack in Iraq last month. At least 5 Muslims from Italy also are believed to have been killed carrying out attacks in Iraq, according to this confidential Italian court document obtained by NBC News. Another Italian recruit was tied to the rocket attack on this Baghdad hotel where Deputy Defense Secretary Paul Wolfowitz was staying.
The most troubling picture is the fact that the network was extremely complex and well organized, with branches throughout Europe.
Police in 3 countries recently arrested 9 suspects, including these 4 men, for allegedly providing false documents and logistical support through a network that spans Britain, Norway, France, Spain, Germany, and Italy.
Militants from all over Europe were basically calling the cell in Milan to find a way to cross the border and to go to Iraq.
Most went by way of Syria. In wiretap phone calls detailed in the Italian documents, a militant in Syria asked for recruits similar to the Japanese kamikaze pilots of World War II. On another call, a ringleader in Milan tells his partner in Syria, "I am going to send you 4 more. The man in Syria responds, "We need 40 of them, but good like those of last time." German intelligence reports that recruiting there has shifted from mosques to internet chat rooms and coffee houses.
These extremists are even more cautious, even more clandestine than before. They're more careful.
NBC News obtained this flyer by a Milan group called Lovers of Martyrdom, which says, quote, "Leave this short, meaningless life and expect the highest rewards in heaven. The doors are open for new recruits. Many volunteers have entered Iraq through Syria." No one knows how many European militants are actually fighting in Iraq. Foreign fighters are only a fraction of the insurgents who've been caught. Still, their presence can only make the violence worse. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.
Back here on Wall Street today, a choppy trading day, but the blue chips managed to add to the week's gains. The Dow was up 30 points at the end of the day. NASDAQ was down about 5 points. For the week, then, the Dow was up 236 points. NASDAQ gained only 2 points on the week. Up next, NBC News in depth. Assignment America. What's behind Atlanta's dramatic economic turnaround? And later, Ford had a problem with a popular pickup. Did their efforts to fix it work?
Disciplined investing. At T. Rowe Price, it's not just about the short term. It's about a steady, long-term approach. Over 75% of our mutual funds beat their 3, 5, and 10-year Lipper averages. A disciplined, long-term approach. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
What should you do if you're having a heart attack? First, call an ambulance, then take Bayer aspirin. Now aspirin may help stop you from dying when taken during a heart attack. Talk to your doctor now. Bayer, take it for pain, take it for life.
The experts at Oral-B are on a mission to protect your teeth and gums with the new Oral-B Professional Care 7000. Its 3D action removes more plaque than Sonicare Elite and even reverses gum disease. Oral-B Professional Care. Brush like a dentist.
It's the JCPenney Last Big Saturday Sale. Saturday only, save 20 to 60% off great gifts store-wide, plus incredible doorbusters starting at 7 a.m. Or give JCPenney gift cards, the perfect last-minute gift.
It's all inside.
JCPenney.
Sore throat pain. Now end your sore throat emergency. Extra strength Cepacol lozenges numb sore throat pain fast with menthocaine action. 2 anesthetics for fast relief.
The pain is gone.
Cepacol ends your sore throat emergency.
Every day for thousands of years, Old Faithful has been, well, faithful. You can almost set your watch by it.
What causes it to stay so regular?
Stay regular with Metamucil Daily Fiber Therapy. It works with you, naturally.
We just can't say.
Get regular, stay regular. The natural way. Now available in powder, wafers, and capsules.
All new Dateline Friday. Inside the Michael Jackson investigation, he's been charged with 9 counts. As his defense team prepares their side, new details emerge. Accusations of alcohol, pills, and inappropriate touching. What did the accuser's mother tell authorities? The Michael Jackson investigation. Dateline tonight, 8/7 Central on NBC.
MSNBC Tonight. Senate Leader Dr. Bill Frist tells Chris where the nation's headed next year and why Democrats will be left with their heads spinning. Hardball tonight on MSNBC.
NBC News in depth tonight, our special series, Assignment America, as the economy gains strength. One city leading the way is Atlanta. Job creation is up in technology, transportation, and housing. People are moving in to take advantage. NBC's Brian Williams takes a look at what's going on in Atlanta and whether the newfound prosperity will spread.
The meatloaf get green beans or sweet?
It's lunchtime at a landmark, Mary Mac's Tea Room in downtown Atlanta.
Cream corn, fried green, mac and cheese.
The menu's basically unchanged since the Second World War, and business has seldom been better. Atlanta's economy is on the rebound. You hear it in packed restaurants.
We're booked now well into July of next year.
At booming housing sites.
We've seen a growth in construction, continued expansion.
And from business owners.
Our revenues this year are up 18%.
Terry Jones has hired 30 people in the last month alone for her software company.
I feel like the recession's over in Atlanta.
Atlanta's economy has gone from worst to first. Last year, we were in the bottom 10 of all metropolitan areas in creating jobs, and this year we're going to be in the top 2.
But aside from just the numbers, there may be something else at work here, something more intangible. A lot of the shoppers we spoke to here in Atlanta say they are ready for a joyous holiday season 2003. from the looks of things, they're ready to spend a lot of money as well.
One very unscientific way to judge is by looking at how many shopping bags are in the mall. We're seeing a lot this year.
And for shoppers like Mary Thomas and Lillian Barber, it's a chance to leave that post-9/11 stress behind.
It's time to move on.
Back at Mary Mac's Tea Room, local business people gave us the view from inside the economy.
What's the secret then? Why here?
I think Atlanta has a diverse population of companies. If UPS is in a slump, then we've got Home Depot. And if Home Depot's in a slump, then somebody's going to drink a Coca-Cola.
How much credit does the administration get? How much credit does that tax cut get?
Well, I was a benefactor of the tax cut. I know it made me feel good.
What'd you do with it?
I spent it.
So far, Atlanta seems to have a lock on the good news. It has not spread to the rest of the state of Georgia.
Throughout Georgia, the rest of the country, unemployment's still high. Here locally, Delta Airlines is laying off people. Some people would give you a good argument that things aren't necessarily better.
And they're not going to always be better for everybody. But it's like sometimes you have to make your own opportunity in life, you know?
And not everyone agrees here in Atlanta that a rising tide lifts all boats.
A lot of the opportunity has been limited to a small group of people. This 6 to 9 month recovery doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have 6 to 9 months of growth right behind it.
Still, you can tell they are very much ready to celebrate in Atlanta.
I really believe that Atlanta is going to come back not with a whisper, but with a roar.
And millions are hoping that roar doesn't stop here. Brian Williams, NBC News, Atlanta.
Up next, America's retailers hope to hear that same roar this weekend, how they're hoping to get you to part with your money in the run-up to Christmas.
NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw, brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Great news for people taking aspirin every day for their heart. St. Joseph aspirin, that little orange pill you remember, can significantly reduce your risk of a heart attack. And a recent study suggests that for daily heart therapy, low-dose aspirin, like 81 milligram St. Joseph, is just as effective as higher doses, but safer, and 81 milligram is all we make. Baby your heart with St. Joseph.
Sometimes all it takes is a switch. So find out if switching to new Levitra is your next move. Ask your doctor if a free sample is right for you. Ask about new Levitra.
In our house, movie night means it's Stouffer's lasagna night. It's our turn to cook dinner. Hey, I got the Stouffer's. Oh, great. How about this movie? Oh, I love it. It gives us all a chance to eat together. A delicious plate of Stouffer's lasagna is always a family favorite. It's funny how we all have the same taste in foods. Can't say the same for movies.
Ah, guys, not this again.
Stouffer's, nothing comes closer to home.
I can never describe the excitement of that day when I heard I had my first grandbaby. We have 13 grandchildren. Every year, I take them all to Walmart to pick out their Christmas gifts. Everyone has to worry about prices, of course. And Walmart has a great selection of many different things for all different ages. We can get a lot for our money there. Oh my goodness, having the 13 children around me, it's just a great time in life. It really is.
In the next 15 seconds, the cooling vapors of VapoRub can start to make you feel like you're breathing again. It's so fast, you don't even need the full 15. Let's see a cold pill do that.
The new Sonicare Elite by Philips. With patented sonic technology, its bristle tips move 3 times faster than all other leading power toothbrushes for a deep cleaning experience unlike any other. Like that, only smaller. Sonicare Elite removes stains and reverses gingivitis. For whiter teeth and healthier gums, guaranteed. Ask your dental professional. Stop brushing. Start Sonicare.
Sunday, Saddam captured. The future of Iraq and Decision 2004. Tom DeLay plus Carville and Madeline weigh in. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
A federal appeals court today ruled the recording industry cannot force internet providers to identify music downloaders. This decision upholds online privacy and seriously undercuts the music industry's anti-piracy campaign. The Recording Industry Association of America has been tracking downloaders and bringing lawsuits against some to try to deter everyone from swapping music files online. Legal experts said they don't expect today's ruling to affect the suits already filed, but it will make future prosecutions much more difficult for the industry. And this is the eve of what has always been a very busy shopping day, the last Saturday before Christmas. As NBC's Rahima Ellis reports tonight, even with an improving economy, America's retailers aren't taking any chances. That could be good news for last-minute gift buyers.
It's beginning to look a lot like last Christmas.
You'll save 25%.
More markdowns and promotions, despite an improved economy and predictions that tight inventories would mean fewer discounts this year.
Getting a lot of good deals today.
The competition for bargain shoppers is intensifying at the last minute, partly because of this. Miserable weather the last 2 weekends, keeping shoppers out of the malls and taking a bite out of forecasts for a greener Christmas for retailers. Now, a market research group projects holiday sales numbers will be up 3.7% from last year, considerably less than the 5.2% expected earlier.
How are you?
Retail analyst John Morris says even with a smaller projection, this still will be a make or break weekend.
The retailers held off on their discounting after Thanksgiving, and now they're trying to make up for it to entice the consumer into their stores.
Albert Boskov, head of the nation's largest family-owned department store chain, is feeling the pressure.
We're all fighting to get the customer to come to see us. I think we're all making special offers.
It's a nervous time, but not for some retailers. The sale of bling bling and other luxury items at high-end stores is trending upwards, analysts say. Here at New York's Saks Fifth Avenue, sales jumped 7% in just 1 month. And online shopping is booming, with retailers offering more discounts, free shipping, and taking orders as late as December 23rd.
We're expecting online holiday sales to reach $12.2 billion between the period of Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's a 42% increase over last year.
Gift cards are growing in popularity too. By one estimate, consumers are expected to spend more than $17 billion on gift cards, nearly 8% of all holiday sales.
I'm going to buy these two right here.
Down to the last weekend for retailers looking for last-minute shoppers, and everyone hoping to wrap up the holidays with a little help from Santa. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, New York.
Well, millions are at the mall this weekend. Europe's unmanned Beagle 2 space probe will be headed for Mars. Beagle 2, which is named after Charles Darwin's ship of discovery, is said to be on track for a Christmas Day landing on the Red Planet. Meanwhile, in this country, NASA's new ultra-sensitive infrared Spitzer telescope has sent back its first pictures from space, and they are spectacular. They show a huge gas cloud, for instance, and new stars being born. A spiral galaxy 12 million light years away. There's much more on these extraordinary images on our website, msnbc.com. I'll be right back.
It's new, it's hot, it's a revolution in activewear. Introducing the Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. The powerful new look and pain relief that everyone's wearing. To get sore muscles moving and relieve achy joints so they stay active longer. Ready to wear wherever you hurt. It delivers deep Bengay heat and lasts up to 8 hours. So put on lasting relief designed by the best. The new Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what's hot in pain relief.
42,000 dentists think enough of Crest White Strips to sell them in their offices. 15 million people have already tried them. 4 out of 5 would recommend them. Crest White Strips. The secret to a whiter smile is in the strip. Guaranteed.
Well, let's face it, there are a lot of bad drivers out there. You can't change their driving, but you can learn to avoid them. That's why at Liberty Mutual, we teach something called decision driving and offer the latest auto safety advice to keep the road safer and keep premiums down.
Liberty Mutual. It's more than insurance. It's insurance in action.
Looks like we've got some work to do.
That cold's getting worse, Dad.
My nose is running, head's all blocked up. I need my Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I'll get your Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Only Alka-Seltzer Plus has an effervescent cold-fighting formula to break up nasal congestion and release you from your worst cold symptoms fast.
Feel better?
I do. That's my line. Alka-Seltzer Plus breaks up your worst cold symptoms fast. And now, rush relief with new Alka-Seltzer Plus Ready Relief tabs.
The Braun Synchro cuts more efficiently because it's the first shaver with a 4-way moving head. And its automatic self-cleaning system leaves your shaver so clean it feels like new every day. Braun Synchro. We challenge you to find a better dry shaver.
What are little girls made of? Splenda and spice, and everything nice.
Little girls and boys are very sweet when they get the sweet things they love. And now soft drinks and ice cream, juices and cookies, and lots of treats are being made with Splenda, the no-calorie sweetener made from sugar, so it tastes like sugar. Splenda is making life a little sweeter for everyone.
MSNBC.com has a whole new look with more content and breaking news, and it's even easier to use so you can get the news you need faster. MSNBC.com.
America's Bodie Miller. Many say he's the world's best. Don't miss him in giant slalom action at the Chevrolet America's Opening World Cup, Saturday, 2 Eastern, NBC.
There was a time when the American auto industry thought that safety didn't sell, but Ralph Nader, the seatbelt campaign, and insurance industry crash test changed all of that. Take Ford's wildly popular F-150 pickup. The insurance industry gave it a failing grade a while back in a major crash test, and Ford went back to the drawing board. The results? Here's NBC's Robert Hager.
It's America's best-selling vehicle, the Ford F-150 pickup. By reputation, tough. But when researchers for the insurance company's Institute for Highway Safety crash tested it 2.5 years ago, just watch what happened. A surprise. For a test of a large pickup, the worst damage testers had ever seen. The group's Brian O'Neill.
I wouldn't put my family, my wife, or myself in a vehicle like this.
Bottom line, if the dummy'd been real, alive, it probably wouldn't be anymore. The F-150, meantime, had passed the government's somewhat less demanding crash test. In fact, earned a maximum 5-star rating in that. But the motor company sensed the insurance test was bad news and could influence buyers. So Ford made big changes, reinforced it with stronger steel, improved the front end to absorb more impact. 2 years later, the big moment, insurers test the redesigned model. What a difference!
We've gone from very, very bad performance to very, very good performance.
This time, researchers say, a driver would have walked away alive with only scratches. So let's look again. The old model and the new. Insurers have now adjusted their rating from worst to best of all pickups. But there's a postscript. While Ford began selling the redesigned 150 this summer, it'll continue making and selling the old one too until next June as the F-150 Heritage. Why? Because the company insists it is safe. Did, after all, pass the government's test, and some buyers, it says, just prefer it. As for the insurance industry, it says the redesign was the right thing to do and wonders why anyone would still buy the old one. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
There is much more on these important safety changes and a detailed look at the F-150 crash test on Dateline tonight at 8, 7 Central. That's Nightly News for this Friday. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here Monday night.
A new Ozarks golf course development, a new headache for its city. The death of a child from the flu has this family speaking to you. And go shopping with Contact KY3's Michelle Davidson for the coolest new DVD technology. KY3 News at 6 starts now.